If you want to start an e-commerce business in 2026, the truth is you don't have to do everything manually anymore. You don't need to sit there with 12 tabs open trying to figure out your brand voice, your product angles, your content plan, your competitor research, your emails, your store ideas, and your marketing calendar all on your own. Because this is exactly where AI can make things so much easier. And today's tool that we're going to talk about, Hubi AI, is the perfect tool for all of that. Because instead of researching all the random tools to use for AI to grow your e-commerce business, Hubi actually helps you build a system around your business. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how I would use AI to start an e-commerce business step by step in 2026, and how I would use Hubi AI to organize the business, train the brand voice, generate ideas, create content faster, and manage everything in one place. Now, the first thing you can do is start a new workplace inside Hubi so you can connect your business, train it, and let it know your business. Or you can use Hubi AI with your existing workspace, such as Slack, for example. So we're doing just that. One of the things that I like most about Hubi is that whenever you're signing up with your e-commerce business inside the tool, it organizes everything for you. So whenever you're starting a business, you want your business to have its own space, its own ideas and strategy. So when you're signing up to Hubi, it will let you know to create all of these things. So we're going to go ahead and sign up to Hubi and do exactly that for our business. So when you join Hubi, you have the option of just logging in and using it, or you can invite to Slack so you can connect it directly to your Slack account. So to get it up and running, you can connect with Slack, you can fully set up one job or generate a job draft, or use Ask Hubi, or just give Hubi a job for different things that you might need that we're going to go through. So we're going to go ahead and connect Slack just so we can have it in our workspace. And you can also connect many other things. So let's say our brand name. So we have our workspace and then we're logging in. So during the setup, you can add things like the business name, the niche, the website, if you have one, mandatory to have one, the target customer, the products I want to sell, competitors, and the overall brand direction. So this way, Hubi understands what the business is all about. And this matters a lot because the more context you give it, the better everything else becomes for your growth. So first things first, we're going to use Brain to build the business. Once the workspace is ready, the next thing that I would do is use Brain. So this is where you add the brand voice, audience insights, product details, competitor notes, positioning, goals, and any other important context that I want Hubi to remember about my business. This is a big thing because with most AI tools, they tend to forget everything. So once you add it here, you don't have to repeat yourself over and over again. So whenever you're building an e-commerce business, it is really important for the AI tool that you use to know the client that you're targeting, the kind of tone I want for my brand voice, the kind of products I'm selling, and the type of brand that I'm trying to build, because it's not all about products, but the type and the vision you have for it. So you can manage all these files in one place and use folders to keep everything organized. So we're going to Brain, and this is where we start training the actual tool. So we're going to folders like brand, for example, and you have brand palette, and you start by modifying the colors, and you modify them in the colors that you prefer for your brand. Of course, you can go ahead and add those from Canva or wherever you have them saved. Then you have the website tone analysis, and you can easily add or upload something, a folder, a text, a link, skill. You can edit your brand palette. Another thing I would do really early in is look at the skills and install the ones that make sense for the business. Depending on the e-commerce brand, I want things like copywriting, content strategy, paid ads, SEO audit, product marketing context, social media content, email sequence, pricing strategy. So this is useful because now Hubi isn't just giving general responses, it's working with more specialized knowledge based on what I'm trying to do. So if I am building a brand and I need better product images, better ads, better emails, and better social content, I can stack these skills inside Hubi and get a much better output. So if you go right here to the dashboard, you can go to capabilities and skills, And then you can do A/B test setup, analytics tracking, cold email, competitor alternatives, email sequence, marketing ideas, and more. You can also add example content, what Hubi will learn from for your business. So if you have a competitor Instagram account that you really like and you want Hubi to get inspired from, you can add it here, but this is more on the skill gym. So for the skills, you go and, for example, pick copywriting and you say teach Hubi, and it learned that for you. Email sequence, same thing here, marketing ideas, and just add a few that you feel are best for your business. The next thing I would do is train the tone and style more deeply. And this is where the skills gym is really useful, because one of the biggest complaints people have about AI is that it sounds like AI. So to make sure that doesn't happen, we will use the skills gym. I will use skills gym to train Hubi on my best posts, brand guidelines, product positioning, tone of voice, and the kind of messaging that I'm associating with the business. So you can train it with your own content or with content from competitors that you really like and you want to sound like. So under skills, you have skill gym, and you can go ahead and add Instagram. So you add Instagram account. For example, I'm going to use an Instagram account for a competitor now because I don't have many posts on my own e-commerce one, but just to show you what it does and how it works. If you have a beauty brand, for example, you can click that and ask to fetch posts or import from profile. You can choose the post type. It can be a post or it can be something else. You then select the post that you want to really sound like, for example, and you click continue. And in the skill gym, Hubi is creating similar posts for you. So what you're doing right now is you're training Hubi to be your content planner, to be your social media strategist, to be everything that you need to grow your e-commerce business. And it might take a little bit of time to train it on different skills that you want it to have, different things that you wanted to have in terms of content. But after that, it will be a super useful tool to grow your e-commerce business and to obviously increase your revenue as well. Now, once the workspace is set up, the brand context is there, and you've started generating ideas, the next thing I look at is jobs. And this is where Hubi starts feeling less like a chat tool and more like an actual teammate. Because instead of only helping with one-off prompts, jobs lets you set up repeatable tasks your business needs on an ongoing basis. That could be things like weekly reports, campaign drafts, margin checks, recurring business updates, or other workflows you know you'll need again and again. And I actually think this is really useful because a lot of business owners don't just need ideas, they need consistency. They need things to keep moving without having to remember every single task manually. So instead of me coming back and asking for the same thing over and over again, I can just set it up once as a job and let Hubi keep handling it in the background. For example, we could give it a recurring job like creating a weekly report, checking on one part of the business, or drafting something we need regularly. That way, it's not just helping me once, it's helping me continuously. And honestly, that's what makes this feel much more like a real business system instead of just another AI chat tool. Now, from here, I would go into conversation. This is where I can actually talk about the business and get the work done. So you can talk to Hubi directly in Slack or Microsoft Teams, depends on what you want to use. So maybe you can ask things like, help me create a launch strategy for this brand. Or you can do something like write 10 products post ideas for Instagram. Help me write a product description or 5 angles for meta ads. Or create a content plan for the next 30 days, analyze competitors, and suggest what I should do differently. What is nice here is that you can keep everything in one thread. So if you want to research, then turn that into a brief, then turn that into content, then turn that into a campaign plan. You can do that without starting over every single time. And this makes the workflow feel much more natural. Now, if you're taking the business seriously, you would start connecting the tools that you're actually using. So if you have Slack, Shopify, Gmail, Microsoft Teams, Google Workspace, Meta, Klaviyo, Notion, or anything else relevant, you would connect those as well. This is where the platform becomes more than just an idea tool. It becomes part of the actual business workflow. So if you're building an e-commerce brand, this becomes super useful because it means that your AI setup isn't just living in isolation. So it can actually work closer to the store and the business itself. Now, this is the part when things are actually getting interesting, because once the foundation is here, the next step is automations. And this is where I would start thinking like a real operator. So instead of manually remembering every single task, I can ask Hubi to do things like weekly competitor analysis, monthly content calendars, daily social drafts, keyword tracking, campaign planning reminders, and more. So this matters a lot because a business grows faster when important things happen consistently, and consistency is exactly what most people struggle with. So if I can automate some of the repetitive tasks and research work, that is a huge advantage. So if I step back and look at the big picture, how I would use Hubi in 2026 to grow my e-commerce business, this is what I would do. First, create a workspace for the brand. Then add the business context into Brain. Train the brand voice with skills and the skills gym. Use conversation to actually build the strategy, content, and messaging. Connect the right tools for your business and automate the repetitive work. This is a much smarter way to start than building everything up from zero manually. Because Hubi AI is not just giving random business ideas, it's supporting the actual business. And this is exactly why I think this tool is so interesting, and I think you should try Hubi AI for your business, because if you're starting e-commerce in 2026, building a system around your business matters a lot. So if you want to use Hubi AI to start and run your e-commerce business, make sure to check out my link below. And tell me in the comments below if you are starting an e-commerce business today, or if you already have one, what is the first thing you would use Hubi AI for? Let me know down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you've enjoyed it, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for being here, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!